All right. All right, we're live. We are live. Not in a good mood today, people. Not in a good mood at all. So take that however you want. This is what I am going to tell you. I need people to cheer me up here. I need some conversations, some pleasant conversations, so I can be distracted. All right. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm also live on Twitch today. So jump in on either platform. I'll be honest with you, I would rather you on YouTube live, but if you're on Twitch, I'm fine with it. As long as we can have a conversation. The annoying part is you won't be able to have a conversation with people on the other platform. But I read all of them. For instance, Charlie Walsh showed up. Good morning. Good morning to you as well, Charlie. Hope you're having a better day than I am. I'm going to and I'm going to try to get some words in today. It doesn't look good. Today might just be a let's talk about random things. What is that? That's not the right one. That's the right one. Very distracted. There's Chad Lutsky. Are we your therapist today, Armand? I guess you're going to have to be. That doesn't seem like a fair trade to me. I'm also not paying you, so. I guess it is what it is, right? Is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I gotta write something today. Just don't know what. Just don't know what. Yeah, I was supposed to have every Thursday. And then last Thursday he didn't send me the link to our Zoom meeting, and then I was like, all right, maybe he got busy. I know he was last couple of weeks he had bandages on his head because he had a biopsy for skin cancer, and he's in good mood. We were talking about upcoming baseball season. He lives near Tampa, He's a Tampa Bay Rays fan. We were talking about opening day coming and on and on. We always save like the last five or so minutes of our session to talk baseball. He was 76 years old. And then last Thursday he didn't show, so he'd done that once or twice before, but he always had called, and he said, "I'm sorry, but I got called last minute to go to the hospital and work over at the hospital or something like that." So Keith says, "Sorry to hear you'll have to build that repertoire all over again." Thank you, Keith. What's up, Matthew? And so I didn't think anything of it, and then I was like, "All right, well, I'm sure at some point he'll text me and say sorry, and we'll do this again next Thursday. No big deal." And then last night I've been having nightmares for like 3-4 nights. Like really, I had a nightmare the night before last that I was back in school, but I was me at 56, and I was walking around the halls of this weird high school without a shirt on. And so had my belly hanging out, and I get my gross hairy back, and I'm just like very, very self-conscious. It was almost like, the dream where you go to school or work and you're naked. It was the same thing. It's very, very bothersome. Last night I had an awful, awful nightmare, and in the nightmare, some random person came up to me and said, "Hey," and said the name of my therapist, "passed away." I said, "What?" And then I woke up. It's like 7 o'clock this morning, and I looked on my phone, and sure enough, there's an obituary. He was an Irish gentleman, 76 years old, and he died on St. Patrick's Day last week. So on Tuesday he passed away. So obviously, but I was very very upset this morning. I'm still upset. I like him. Almost 4 years I had been talking to him. And you think I'm negative now. I mean, you should see me 5 years ago. Negative about everything. So I like the guy. I genuinely just liked him. He helped me get through a lot of stuff. And so I don't know. And I'm like, I know my wife wants to ask, what am I going to do now? And at this point, I'm just going to, I need some time. I don't want to jump right back into having to talk to somebody else now. He said, "I've sealed the deal and out behind the barn arriving today, but I'm going to read the Lutsky first this time." I mean, that's fine. I mean, he didn't lose his therapist or anything. No, actually, read that. That's a good one. And then read my dumb book. And you said your therapist is 70. No, he was 76. He was. Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, I didn't want to say my therapist is dead on the thing because people don't like that. Can't use that word, and I refuse to use unalive because that's just dumb. That's why I was like, he's gone. Just like the other day when I said Chuck Norris is gone. Jess says, "Well, dang man, I'm sorry for your loss. That's a completely different type of loss, huh?" Yeah, this is like the guy who knew all of my secrets. This is the guy who knew more about me than anybody. So, and again, 4 years, over 4 years. I remember, I went through with him, Jay Wilburn's passing, my father-in-law's passing, my father passing, Keith not reading my books before he read Chad Lusky's books, all of those big moments. Well, I didn't mean to make light of it when I first came in here. I thought your therapist called in or something. No, he died on St. Patrick's Day. An Irishman dying on St. Patrick's Day. I didn't think that was that could even happen. But I never got anything from the. I'm like, well, this is weird. I never got anything from the health stuff or anything, that he had passed away. So it's weird. And I had that dream freaked me out last night. And I just hate having to deal with new therapists. Yeah, this is only my second therapist I've ever had. When I was married the first time, we went to a couples counseling, me and her, and then she wanted to meet individually with us. This is back when I'm like 20. So he had a dream he died, and then he died. I had a dream. In my dream, somebody I don't know walked up to me and said his name and said he died. And I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, he passed away." And then I woke up, and I immediately put my glasses on. I grabbed my phone and I looked it up, and sure enough, I know where I know what town he lives in, and I looked it up, and there he is. And I was like, "Holy crap! Is that?" It's weird that it was in my dream, and it's weird that that was how I started my day. So I had when I was like in my 20s, early 20s, I went through for the first marriage, which lasted all of 11 months. The marriage itself. We went to a couples counseling, and it was a woman probably in her 30s, and then she wanted to meet with us individually, and then so she met with my wife at the time, and then that same week she met with me, and then when she met with me, she flirted with me a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to fix my marriage, not interested in this. And then literally that night went home and I told my wife, and she's like, oh yeah, she was flirting with me too. And then the next week we both went and she really flirted with both of us. But then of course I found out after the fact that we got divorced like maybe a month later. That my ex actually messed around with this woman after we had already we were like, yeah, we're not we don't need I don't need a marriage counselor because I don't want to be with her anymore. And then we stopped going, and then I found out that those two continued to talk and flirt and whatnot. So that's the only other time I've had. This guy did not flirt with me, which I think was good. Matthews, I have to ask, your dreams, while not always nightmares, do they usually feel enough to be considered as such, and they always feel like just content to write about or consider? Most of them I don't remember. I remember bits and pieces. Like I remember the fact that I was in school. I remember that. What is this? Are you fucking kidding me? So we got last month we got the like meat of the month kind of thing, and it was good stuff. It's like several pounds of chopped meat, several pounds of chicken, several pounds of this and that and the other thing, a nice brisket. And my wife's like, it's good, but we can just order this. I mean, it's not, they're not so superbly great, that we can't just get this ourselves. And she was gonna stop it, but apparently she did not, because here is a woman. Here's a woman wearing red stretchy pants. And I think it's a onesie. I think she's wearing a onesie, a stretchy pants into a yeah. It's all one. It's like a one piece. She's wearing a one piece, like a burgundy, very form fitting thing. So I'm gonna have to go. If she stops dancing in front of her car, now what do you got? Now where you go? If she ever leaves, then I got to go bring this in and I got to put it all away real quick. So yeah, I don't remember much, Matthew, of my dreams. I remember bits and pieces, and I'll tell my wife sometimes. I remember a couple weeks ago, I got up and I was like, I am so mad at you right now. I don't remember why, but you were such a jerk to me. And I'll go through periods where I just have nightmares for like 2 straight weeks. I'm like, I wake up like 2-3 times with nightmares, and then I'll be fine for a while, or I won't remember them or something. All right, it says, hey everyone, sorry for your loss, Armand. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. Everybody's saying hi. The hell's Frank? Charlie is here. Yes, Charlie jumped in first. All right, I'm gonna go get this box. Let me put my watch on. Charlie is here. No Frank yet. All right, I'm gonna go pull this box in. There you go, Keith. It's a little bit of butt crack for you. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Fucking asshole. Banged my friggin' kneecap on the dishwasher, which I left open. My fault. Brian says, "Hi, Charlie. I enjoyed your video today. I did not watch Charlie's video yet today." Keith says, "Thank you." Tristan, with Frank here, I need to ask about titles. Matthews, I was attempted to email both you and Armand recently. I want to tell you both about the international competition I entered my book into. Go right ahead, Matthew. My fingers stay near my keyboards a good portion of each day. I'd like to hear about it. Shoot me an email. Just got an email from the Chicago Script Awards. Made it past selection, but didn't make it to the semifinals. You moved up, though, right? That's a good move. That's a good thing. Let me message my wife. I guess she's over here now. Meat box arrived. And then she's going to say, "Oh, I forgot to cancel that." Guarantee. I think Chad had a comment back here. Just that a female therapist in my 20s that stared at my crotch the whole time. I had to stop seeing her. Probably the same one that I by the same one that I had. I don't know if I could. Not that any of my stuff is like sex stuff. I mean, I'm an old man. I don't know if I could have a woman therapist. And I don't know why I couldn't. I like that this guy was the same age as my father. So when my dad passed, it felt like, okay, I still got somebody that age I can talk to. I thought at some point I was like, well, I mean, it is. Hey, it is what it is. But then, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm really still sad. I genuinely like the guy. Yeah, it is great that he made it past selection. I agree. I'm also on Twitch today, although everybody stay on YouTube Live. If you are on Twitch, you're missing out on all the fun at this point. I'm probably not going to get any writing in today. I also have to do reading. I totally forgot. I'm like, oh, I'm a judge for the Derringer Awards for the long fiction. Basically up to 5,000 to 10,000 words. And there's 40 stories I have to read. And this morning I was like, I have not read any of these stories, and I have about a week. I have until next Tuesday, so I have about a week. I have 8 days. I got to read like 5 stories a day, and then rate them on several different on a specific criteria. I did them last year, but I did the short stories. They asked me to do the long stuff this year, and I'm one of many judges. You're not supposed to say you're a judge, but I don't think anybody really cares. I'm hoping I hit a couple stories that I've read previously, and I could just rate them and go on. And I also, they're like, if you don't like the story, if you're not feeling it, you don't have to finish it. You just got to rate it. I'm like, I just feel like I have to read the whole story. I mean, I read, like, the one I read says like 7,800 words, and I thought it was a good story. Not a great story. I'm like, well, there's the bar. The bar has been set here. Let's see what we have. Keith says, what's the tally? I don't know who you're talking to or what you're referring to at this point. Chad said, I had a female therapist when I was 17. She straight up looked like a supermodel. It was a horrible fit. What were they thinking? I was completely distracted every appointment. Yeah, that 30-year-old, she was cute. But like an idiot, I was like, I don't want to cheat on my wife. And then I was like, I don't want to be with my wife. But the fact that you're a professional and you are totally flirting with me and with my wife, no, thank you. I never reported her or anything. I just stopped booking. But apparently my ex did not. Lorraine says, I didn't like having a male therapist, but I don't really think it was about his gender as much as he just didn't get my type of person. Yeah, I would imagine that's got to be. Like, mine wasn't, he wasn't a creative person, but he understood. I explained it like he didn't know what imposter syndrome was. So I explained that to him one day. But he just asked, he wasn't like, oh, have you ever met Stephen King? You get a lot of those stupid things. It was never any of that. It was always very professional, but he was very nice. All right, so I had a female therapist almost 20 years ago who just looked at me with a blank stare. Creepy. He probably has a picture of you that he still stares at. Keith, hours viewed. Sorry, I thought we were more in tune than that. Not today, Keith. Today I'm all over the place. So as of this morning, I have 9,730 subscribers. I have 3,277 hours. So I need about 720 hours. So keep watching, people. I appreciate it. Keep it going. Keep it going. I need to get monetized here. Lorraine says, I would have preferred a male supermodel. As a therapist, that is. Yeah. He's like, I'm your therapist, but we can't ever do Fridays or Saturdays and Sundays because I work at Chippendales. I don't know if I could have a therapist if I get another therapist. Too soon right now. If I get one, I don't know if I can get one that's younger than me. I think that would be weird. Like you don't know. You haven't lived the life I've lived. Right, so I have trouble making eye contact sometimes, so that would help. So UPS just pulled up. What are they pulling up for? Is this my wife's bread order now? That would be funny. I didn't take anything out for dinner, and you know what? I'm not going to. Either I just got all this meat and I could thaw some of it out, but I'm not going to. It's funny because I went in the garage. I went to the big freezer that we cleaned out last week, and I was like, "Oh, let me just grab some chicken." And then there was no chicken left. Chad says my sister's a therapist. Well, that's got to be interesting, right? Now, did your sister try to analyze you all the time? I would imagine if my brother was a therapist, he would be an awful one, but also he would try to analyze everything I said. There's Frank. We're just saying, where the hell is Frank? Frank's right there. Mediocre Monday. Yeah, this is mid Monday so far. This is not a good Monday at all. My therapist died, so I'm not in a good mood today. I had an okay weekend though. I picked up a new book somebody had recommended. I did a video of it, unboxing of it. Those Drinking Days, Myself and Other Writers. Very old school cover. And it's basically about writers who drink. So Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Faulkner, London, Tennessee Williams, Chad Lutsky, they're all in here. Oh, it's a package. Oh, so this has got to be, this is a book. Yet another book. It's like I finally do a video for that book, and now here's another one. My wife at some point is going to end up killing me because the book pile is it's higher than the lamp now. And it's three piles higher than the lamp. Matthew says, my therapist is mostly a sounding board, and I bring up all the good things happening because there are people who have tried to tear me down saying it's not real because I'm not in X, Y, Z categories. Yeah, sometimes you need that. A lot of times he was just my sounding board. A lot of times I was complaining about people around me. All of you people. Frank says, your therapist died. I'm sorry to hear that. How does that make you feel? I see what you did there, Frank. It makes me feel sad. It makes me just feel like, how can I go on? It actually does make me feel sad. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's backing up now. What are you doing, Mr. UPS driver? Do you have a second book for me? Now what are we doing? Troy says, hey, Frank, Armand says you're good at titles and naming things. Frank says, there's no way in heck Armand says that. I actually did say that. Whoa, is he coming back to get my book? Is he coming back? What are you doing? Damn it, I should have went out there and grabbed it. Maybe just an envelope stuffed with cartel money. Chad says, my sister does get weird sometimes and tries to turn everything into some sort of trauma. So we're all victims all the time. I would imagine she practices on you a lot. That's just a normal thing. Where did you take my package? I can't tell if you took my package. I think he took my package. So where's my package? Did he give me the wrong package? Somebody else getting books? Because it definitely looked like a package of books. Charlie says he did say that. I'm trying to come up with a name for my YouTube channel, and I suck at titles. Yeah, I told them you usually come up with some good names, like our title for our when we did the radio show writers thing. Matthew says, "What's your channel about?" Frank says, "Too easy. Charlie Sucky YouTube show. Wall of Suck." Wow. Charlie, you probably should have sent him a private message. What? What the fuck just happened? He dropped a package in front of my house. He drove away. He backed up, slammed on the brakes, came over, picked up the package, brought it back to the truck, and then drove off. I gotta see if I missed him dropping something. Here's another ash shot, Keith. So I guess maybe he had two packages in his hand when he walked up, because I got one. So I did get a book. It's from Nelson Books. No idea who that is. Hopefully it's Matthew and Gunnar Nelson from the great band Nelson, who sang that great song After Lorraine. Troy says, horror, mostly books, but sometimes movies. Screams from the Walls is the best I've come up with. Troy says, Wall of Suck has a pretty good ring to it. FedEx is catfishing me. Wall of Suck sounds more like the wall in the back of the adult bookstore with the hole in it. Yeah. Yeah. Wall of Suck, a.k.a. the glory hole. Walls of Shame. Hard times in the mind's eye. Lorraine says, this truly is a Monday. You guys are today. Fill in the blanket. Yeah. Balls to the walls. Now I'm going to have that song in my head. The other day I heard on satellite radio they played London Leather Boys. And I had that in my head for like 3 days. I'm also, to add insult to injury, I'm drinking mushroom coffee today. I can already feel it roiling inside me. Plus, today I was supposed to be on that movie set, but they didn't send a thing until like midnight last night. So I woke up this morning. I'm like, well, why would you send it now? But I guess because they're trying to work out shots and whatnot. But I'm like, yeah, I can't make it on short notice like this. Like I'm literally rolling out of bed at 7:00, and you want me to be there at 8:00, and it's across town, and my therapist just died. Frank says the rain equals infectious. I said, I almost said, wait, where's Chad to protect my ears from such talk? Then I saw it was Chad. Yeah, Chad, there's a lady. Key says, my wife claims she's never heard of Big Balls by AC/DC. She has. She doesn't just want to come out and admit it that she knew that song before you, and then she met you, and it doesn't matter anymore. Whereas I think AC/DC is more of a male thing. I know like 3 or 4 women who like AC/DC. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I'm going to get no. What is that? What do things keep popping up on me? Chad says, when I bought Balls to the Wall, my mom looked at the cover and said, "Are they a gay band?" I was so offended and didn't get why she said that. Fast forward years later, and I was like, okay, I see. Yeah, London Leather Boys, that cover, 100%. Frank says, what's Big Balls by AC/DC? Don't worry about it, Frank. The obsession with that title also. Chad says, I know, I'm so sorry, Lorraine. That was horrible. Key says, I've already 100 words today. Do you really want to let me win today? You know what? I think you're going to win. I might get some words in at some point. I might just be like, hey, I'll be right back. I just got to write. He says, I'll live, Chad, but how will my homeschooled ears handle this? Oh, right. I'm not homeschooled, Chad. I was like, you were homeschooled? No, she's not. I hung out with Frank and Chad yesterday for about 5 minutes before my internet went out. I'm like, son of a. But Amanda Ward was here, and then me and Amanda sat and talked. We didn't even go to lunch yesterday. We just like hung out, just talked, complained about things. And he says, right enough for all of us, Keith. Yeah. Imagine I'm in downtown. I'm in downtime writing while waiting for my roommate to go back to work. I can't write while she's home and she's still recovering from surgery. I find it very hard when my wife is home, but only when I know she's supposed to be at work or she's running late for work. I'm like, I can't do this because at any moment we might have to have a conversation here to take me out of it. So I like when walk out the door so I can put some gay accept on, and that's it. Frank says you have to finish the story you were telling when your internet dropped. Frank says, what does Amanda have to complain about? Her life is perfect. I said to her yesterday, I said, Amanda, you are the second most negative person I know. I'm number two. You are number one. I think I said that wrong, but you know what I'm saying. She is everything. She's so negative about everything. It's crazy. I mean, I am too, but 90% of them. She's 100%. No matter what happens, and she's got something really good that could happen right now, and she's like complaining about it. Frank says, where the heck is Nick? I don't know where Nick is. Chad says, the new book club I joined has me reading one of the worst books I've ever read. It's self-published and somehow has an average rating of 4.1 with 6K ratings, and I can't figure out how. Weird. Key says, having been divorced once, I learned to write with distractions so I can write while Lisa is in the room. It helps for her to know she can interrupt me. Key says, Chad paid for reviews. There's Nick. It's not that, it's just that I have a routine. And if I know she's leaving, I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'll do emails, I'll do other stuff until she walks out the door. But then there's days she's like, well, I got to take a call at 9. Okay. But then that goes to like 10. And then she's like, all right, I got to send an email. Blah, blah. And I'm like, it's almost 11 o'clock. Go to work. I got stuff to do. 11 o'clock. I gotta have my lunch. Chad says, you were the glue that held this together yesterday, Armin. After you froze, me and Frank didn't know what to do. Yeah. It hasn't gotten better yet, Chad. Yeah, I know. It was like, Frank said, yeah, we're done. I'm like, well, that didn't take long. Matthew says, Keith, not my roommate is my roommate is not a distraction. She constantly pulls me away from my work and shows me all kinds of ballyhoo and tries to have conversations with me. You'd be like, be quiet and recover. Chet says, Frank, it's horrendous. Nick says, dealing with the fallout of my accountant dying on Friday. Now the accountant is dead. So your accountant, or are you just trying to be funny? Because that's not funny, because my therapist actually did die. And I'm actually very sad today. So that's a shitty thing if you're trying to make a joke. Lorraine says, I can't write with my husband in the room. It drives me nuts. He won't stop talking. And the other time he's watching TV and leave me alone. Yeah, it's like when you have kids and they leave you alone until like your phone rings. Then they have 47 questions for you. Frank says, I lost the will to write among the morning chaos. Nick says, nope, just found out during your stream. Well, that's crazy. Everybody, maybe don't be on the stream. This is just not a good stream, apparently. I'm just easily distracted. Yes, book. Hello back. Frank said, geez, I better check in with my Amazon delivery guy at the rate we're going. Yeah, that guy seems like he would be next. At least Chuck Norris can call me later. Very true. There's always that. Yeah, Amanda left yesterday. We didn't even go to lunch. She's like, I'm going to go home and sleep. She wrote a couple thousand words, though, yesterday morning while she was here. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make my broccoli and gabardine, broccoli and cavatelli. And it was friggin' delicious. Troy says, that is nuts. My wife's mother died last week. It's all falling apart for all of us. Everybody's losing somebody. Chad's sister is a therapist. Where does it end? How long was your internet out? For about 45 minutes. And then we got back to some writing. Actually, I started writing before it came back on, because I have the Google Docs as Google Docs. I can write offline. So about 45 minutes, and then wrote till about, I don't know, about noon. Then hung out till about 1. Talked. Chad says, last week, all that talk of collaborating got me missing writing with Bowden, so I had a discussion with him. We said to go ahead and finish Trailer Park Coven, but take out the witch angle. Nice. Keep writing. Keep writing. Keep shining. All right, this is a coven without witches? Question mark? I'm sure it won't be called Trailer Park Coven anymore, Lorraine. It'll be called Trailer Park Trash. Trailer Park Bowden. There's your title. Trailer Park Chicken Piccata. Like permafrost without the zombies. Exactly. That's why it wasn't named Dying Days 10. Or the Dying Days as permafrost without the zombies. Right. Once again, I appreciate everybody hitting the subscribe button. I also appreciate everybody watching. I don't need a lot of hours now, about 700. So knocking off. I got 50 something hours yesterday. For instance, I must have played your Elmore Leonard video like 8 times this weekend. Did you watch it? Any of those 8 times? My days are so off, it doesn't feel like a Monday. Saturday we went. Saturday we were gonna go visit my mom, and I'm like, we packed too much. It's her only day off. I don't want to do all that. I'll see my mom next week. I went to the library, dropped a book, picked up a book. We went to Cracker Barrel for some breakfast. I got my French toast. She got her pecan waffles. And then we went to Texas Roadhouse. Met my son there who turned 30, which is ridiculous that I have a 30-year-old. Because I don't look a day over 30 myself. And Texas Roadhouse, their rolls are delicious. I had like 6 of them. I just kept saying to that waitress, the waitress had a really high, really insincere voice. Hey, everybody, what's going on today? Like, stop, you're going to shatter my glasses. I could keep bringing that bread. Keep bringing that bread. Then I had the chicken with portobello mushroom. My wife had a steak. I'm like, why do you get a steak? You hate their steak. Every time you get a steak here, it's awful. And again, awful steak. It says, look like Frank carried my slack. Sorry, I didn't get to play your videos as much as usual. That's all right. My therapist died. So, my next therapist, I'll just have to talk about this story, and that's fine. At least I'll have something, an opening salvo. Chad says, we also talked about if we have had a place like Shotgun Honey release the bed makers, it would have done better. But a horror press did it, then Nightworm sent it to all their horror readers. Yeah, that's... I'm sure that added to it. None of that does any favors. Live and learn. Exactly. Lorraine says, it feels like a Monday to me, not just as bad as usual. Maddie says, Texas Roadhouse is always about the killer ribs. Even their ribs I don't find really appealing. I don't like any of their food. That's a great place for rolls. That's about it. It's crowded. It's loud. The guy, the manager kept coming around table to table. I'm like 15 times he came to our table, just chatting. I had my Jack Daniels shirt on, so he's telling about the first time he ever had Jack Daniels when he was a kid. And then I had my Raiders hat on. He's talking about. He's like, I'm from New York. I'm a Giants fan. I'm like, well, that really sucks. I'm like, there's only like 2 teams that have been worse than the Raiders, the Jets and the Giants. If you watch either of those teams, that's on you. But then he kept coming back, and my son's like, is this guy just going to keep talking to us? I'm like, apparently, yeah. Chet says, I played Armand's videos all weekend, still going right now. Thank you, Chet. I appreciate that. Lorraine says, the Texas Roadhouse is it's just too loud. The way they build them, it's just very freaking loud. And they pack so many tables and everything into it. It just, the waiters and waitresses are all laughing and yelling at each other. And I'm like, this is not This is not fun to hang out here. Frank says, is that the place everyone licks the butter at? I have no idea what that even means. And they sing happy birthday way too many times. Yeah, we did not hear happy birthday at all. And we did not. His birthday was Thursday. So we went Saturday. And we did not tell anybody it was his birthday because we don't want all that crap. Matt says, don't forget the impromptu line dances. Yeah, there's like no room in the place. And you're doing all that. Hey, I'm trying to talk to my waitress. But no, she has to go and do a line dance and sing happy birthday on the other side of the place. So, you know what? I'll just get another peach sweet tea later. Peach sweet tea that they make, and it's literally they take their sweet tea that they've not made, they basically bought, and then they do a couple of pumps of peach flavor into it. Not good. Chess says Tigers' first game of the season is Friday, but doesn't start until 9:40. What's up with that? Who are they playing? Frank says, one of my daughters was traumatized by the wooden birthday horse at Texas Roadhouse. Frank says, yeah, they dance 2 feet from your table as they awkwardly smile. Yeah, I'm like, why are we doing all this? Wes, like, I didn't even know we were getting another meat box order. Oh, we did, in the same exact order as the first one. Padres. Oh, so they're playing. They're playing it. They're playing in San Diego. Then I imagine they're opening in San Diego, which would be a 7 o'clock game, or is it the Friday night game? I don't know. Matthew said, if I wanted dinner and a show, I'd go to the mine down. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I'm also not a fan of Cheesecake Factory. Their appetizers are good, but their food is mid, and I don't like cheesecake. I also don't like BJ's restaurant. Again, good appetizers. Their cookie pazzouli, whatever that is, that's pretty good for dessert, but their food is Most places are like that. I think I'm gonna need my wife to take me out tonight. Wine and dine me, you know what I'm saying? And that was the other thing. We're sitting there, my son's laughing. He's like, the people sitting next to us are drinking wine. We're at Texas Roadhouse. You're sitting there drinking wine. So people are douches. People are awful. Yeah, I know, like the what is it? Yankees Giants are tomorrow night, but it's like on Netflix or something. And then normally on Thursday, MLB Network will have a 1 o'clock, a 4 o'clock, a 7 o'clock, and a 10 o'clock game. And I don't think they have any games this year because MLB is so freaking greedy uh, that you got to pay for everything. I'm like, this is just annoying. Frank says, yeah, but it's capped wine, so it's fine. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get any of it. John Regan's birthday today. You met John, Mr. Frank. He played in what was that band? Raging Slab. He played drums for. He toured with Raging Slab for several years. Not that John Regan. Yeah, that would be even better. That I would be happy about if that guy. Apparently, Josh Mallerman, not too long ago, had one of his trees fall in his yard. I hope you went over there, Chad, and helped him remove the tree. As to the NFL isn't any better. They don't allow any cord cutters a chance to watch the games. You have to be part of special packages with your cable company most times. Yep, exactly. That's also true. I don't watch hockey on television. Hockey on TV is boring. I have to be at a game to watch it, and I do not watch basketball at all. So I don't know how their contracts are, but I do know that yeah, NFL is also. But I watch like the NFL Red Zone or whatever it's called. I just watch the plays. I mean, I'll watch MLB Network, and they'll just cut to games all day, but I won't get to watch like the entire Red Sox game. Keith says YouTube channel name series suggestion: The Writing on the Walls. Chad says, "LOL, I did not." Nick says, "When are you ordering a physical copy of John Urbansik's autobiography?" I was hoping you had a physical copy you could bring with you, and I would do a dramatic reading or two. Frank said, "This is why I never feel bad about watching games through illicit methods. They tell you right at the beginning of the broadcast you're not supposed to be doing that. I mean, they literally tell you." Right, so that's a great title, Keith. Are you looking for something related to horror, Charlie? Charlie. Trish, that's a good one. Thanks, Keith. There you go. So now start getting that thing moving. Moving on up. Trish says, either horror or writing, Lorraine. Nick says, what if I give Mr. Frank written permission to watch the game? Well, then we're clear. Then nobody can sue him, throw him in prison. For instance, your last name does play well with possible titles. Keith says, I'm sitting over here working. It just pops in and interrupts me. That's not good. As I suck at names, I don't know if you saw the one I suggested, but it was an attempt. Right, so I love trying to picture Keith at work trying to look like he's not chatting on a live stream. Yeah. Yeah, no writing today. which in my average will drop under. Unless I can get some writing in later. I keep getting Facebook ads for CC's Pizza. I don't think we even have CC's Pizza around here anymore. You know what CC's Pizza is? You, you tricky devil, you. CC's makes me sick like a summer complaint sick. Yeah, I my kids loved it when they were kids because it's like, oh, let's eat a bunch of pizza and play these really bad video games in the corner. It was like $4, $5 or something. Lorraine says, good to see you being productive in some way, Keith. Frank said, I had CC's one time in Orlando. Nick says, that sounds like a you problem and not a CC's fault. The CC's near us shut down years ago. I thought they'd folded completely. No, I guess they are still around, but there's none. There used to be a bunch of them here. I worked at a Dollar General, and at the other end of the parking lot of the strip mall was a CC's. And so I would walk down there for lunch. I mean, it was like $5 every day. I would walk. I'm going to CC's for the next 2 hours. If you need anything, don't bother me. And I go sit down there, and they'd be like, "What kind of pizza do you want to make?" Oh, could you do onions and black olives? We'll bring it right out. I don't want the whole pizza. I just want a couple of slices. Frank says CC is like if Banquet Frozen Foods decided to open an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Yeah, pretty much. Frank says, Keith, I was never clever enough to pull that off back in the day, except when I worked at my husband's office. Freudian slip. Ooh. So I love that broccoli and cavatelli for you non-Italians, but I'm burping up like crazy now. I had high hopes when I went to bed last night. I'm like, I'm going to get a lot of writing. I'm going to do 2-3 hours. He says, Lorraine, you're not wired like a man. We're sneaky, exactly. I want everybody to keep watching videos. I appreciate that. At this point, I'm just kind of going through my feed of garbage. Let's let me get to you to the 4K mark before April. April 10th is what it's looking like, unless you guys can turn it up. Turn it up like Freedom Rock. That would be nice. In order to get there, I would have to do 32, 723. So I'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. That's 90 hours a day. That ain't going to happen. I can get half of that. Yeah. Is that Freedom Rock? We'll turn it up. My wife had never heard of that, had never seen that commercial. And I was with Chuck Buda. We were with Chuck Buda in Atlanta one time. And there was something on the radio. And I said, and Chuck said, turn it up. And I said, is that Freedom Rock? Turn it up. And he started to laugh. He was like, oh my God. And he's like, I have no idea what you're even talking about. And then Chuck had to do the entire commercial for you. Classic. Troy says, heard back from that Shining anthology, did not make it. Going to swap the location somewhere in the Smoky Mountains and find somewhere else to send it. There you go. At least you got it, and it didn't take 7 years for them to get back to you. Like, I'm in that short mystery writer group, the email group thing, and Ellery Queen Mystery Magazine. The average is like 18 months after you send in your story, people are getting, and they're basically getting rejections. You've been sitting on that short story for a year and a half. Like, that's insane. Pizza Shining. Armin, what about more videos with stories and advice, things people would be drawn to watch multiple times, not just in the background? I'm trying every Wednesday and every Friday. In fact, I recorded 2 videos yesterday. I'm thinking of doing for the next month or so until I can hit my 4,000 hours. And then if it continues, I'm thinking of doing a Wednesday, Friday, Sunday writing video. Troy says, yeah, they only had it a couple of weeks, so that's cool. I've had a couple of stories out since last April and May. Lorraine really likes those. So I'm going to tell you, I did videos on, I did a video, which it's either going to be Wednesdays or Fridays video this week. I'm not sure which yet. How I motivate to write every day. And then one about hobby versus career writing. So those are the 2 videos I recorded yesterday. Because the, like my StreamYard reset today. So I'm like, I still got like 2 hours, 3 hours. So I'm like, why not record a couple things, because it doesn't cost me anything. So, and I was like, I'm going to do some Fridays as well. I think if I can get 3 days a week with those videos seem to pop. They're poppers. I'm over 100 with the Elmore Leonard one. My thoughts on the first million, whereas I'm at 422. Why I started MondoCon is almost 700. So it's moving. Maggie said, I'd love to try and build the channel proper, but I'm more interested in writing than I am in trying to build too much. I'm already trying to get an entire studio off the ground. Charlie says, yeah, I didn't have a pizza story back then. The only real rewriting I'll have to do is dealing with the topiary animals and changing the names and locations. Yeah. Do you like when I did the State of Horror Florida one, and that guy wrote a story set in Orlando, and he had it snowing? Like, yeah, you literally changed the name of the city in your story to Orlando and sent me this. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't really even a good story. Oh, my stomach's making some noises. Guess what's coming, people? Yeah, that was definitely I think I have some. Let me look and see what I have. I'll send you this one. But I've obviously never been to Florida. And the guy is shoveling snow, like 3 feet of snow, I remember, something like that. I'm like, I can see if they're like, hey, it's crazy. It's snowing here, but Terrific and Horrific with C.W. Al's. Boot Crack. Butte. Isn't how they pronounce it? Butte. I don't know. I mispronounce everything. Oh, thank you for all your hard work on the Derringer Award thing. Hey, I'm the one reading the stories, not him. We get going. I've got things to do today, and I don't get moving and going to fall back to sleep. Thanks for hanging out with us, Matthew. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching videos. I greatly appreciate it. What are they doing with my magazines? What? So Kindle Unlimited is changing their magazine thing now. Starting April 22nd, magazines will be available to borrow as individual issues. So you can choose to read any magazine issue in the Kindle Unlimited catalog. Previously, you were limited to the most recent issue and any future releases after that. Only the issues you select will be added to your library. Automatic delivery of future issues would no longer be available. And now magazines will count towards your 20 borrow limit. Magazines borrowed before 4/22 will be removed from your Kindle on 7/22. Because I have like certain magazines, like Guilty Magazine and Thriller Magazine, another one magazine, and I got like 4 or 5 issues of each just sitting in there. They don't really take up any space. I just haven't gotten to them. I guess I'll just do where I just read a bunch of them. Chad says, I sent a book to Tour Nightfire and they held it for 18 months after the guideline says it'd take up to 9 months max. I ended up pulling it after almost 2 years and giving it to Cemetery Dance. Mistake. Right, so I haven't tried Kindle Unlimited yet, but I plan on putting my debut in it. I love it because half my Amazon money comes from page reads. And I love, as a reader, I love reading Kindle Unlimited books. Chad, what part was the mistake, Tour or Cemetery Dance? Chad says 100% Cemetery Dance. Tour, at least they just held on to your book and they were never going to tell you if they wanted it or not. Cemetery Dance was actively screwing you over. New duotrope email. See if there's anything. I'll see if there's anything good in it while we're chatting. I always look at the ones that are believed to be defunct. And then these are the new ones added. So there's one added for the 30th of this month. So you have a week to write for Exorcists of the Dead anthology. The theme, Exorcists. They have one due on the 31st. That's Surveillance Horror Anthology, Iced Fascist Occupation. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fighting about that one. Anything else new? Rooted Literary Magazine 4/1, Rooted in Music. Sometimes they just don't have these quick enough. That one's closed. By Women Quarterly. All right, so talk to you guys later. I need to get some lunch going around here. Thanks for popping in, Lorraine. Thanks for watching my other videos. I appreciate it. Keith says, Memoir of a Monster 1 is now on Kindle Unlimited. I put the first in the series there, waiting for the print books to go live. Everything gets approved this week. Got approved this weekend. Very cool. Frank says, let's help Armand with his top 9 writing rules. 9? Nick says, I wish they had ones that were the funk. Frank says, rule number one, fiction is pulp and pulp is fiction. Stop taking this crap so seriously. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't really see anything new here that I'll be like, oh, let me see if I have something for that. So we're just going to delete that email. Rules were made to be broken, but if you break the rule, Armand is going to get upset about it. I think he's dropping that rule as like, yeah. Number 3, don't read your reviews. That's a definite one. When you're done with this list, do me a favor, put it together, Frank, and email it to me. I can't copy and paste. Chad says, reading my reviews is what kept me writing. Reading my reviews is what almost stopped me from writing. It's not a good rabbit hole. This person just said, oh, there's a submission call out, but it's your story is due the 29th. We want 7,500 to 10,000 words, and there is they charge a reading fee. And delete. Now I'm going to look to see what that one is. Keith says, I broke the no prologue rule with memoir. Rule 4, say nice to people who share innocuous facts with you that you couldn't care less about. Chess says, except for the one review where the chick lied and said stirring the sheets was filled with grape. She apparently didn't read it. Well, don't let that stop you from actually, leaving a review and changing people's opinions. You morons. I'm not a big fan of grapes. If you don't recognize the phone number calling you, answer it. It's definitely not a spam call. Yeah. And I was like everyone's like, oh, if you answer them, they call more. No, they're still going to call you a million times. That's actually not. Oh, they see it's a real number. No, it's an automated thing where they just dial thousands of numbers at the same time. So none of that really means anything. Plus, I get to say mean things to people. I like that part about it. My stomach is doing it. I do it. I broke the no prologue rule with more than one book. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you need it, you need it. Again, rules are made to be broken. Rule number 6, don't put a little library in front of your house if you don't want strangers hanging out in front of the said house. Son of a bitch. Somebody didn't close the door. Now the friggin' door is wide open on it. These people are annoying. He says there's a Goodreads review of Edgar Allan Poe and Spectre Luminary where he complains he can't find any info about the fictional characters I mixed in with the real life ones. Some people. Now you got to write those biographies of them. It's not that they call you more, it's that they sell your number to other spammers and a number that's active, and thus it leads to more spam. I don't believe that at all. I believe that you're going to get the same amount regardless, so I'm going to scream and yell at them whenever I'm in a mood and make myself feel better about it. You can't tell me any different. That's going to bother me. That's going to bother me that's just wide open like that. And you know what's going to happen too, which is going to annoy me? Somebody's going to go walking by and they're not going to, they won't close it. These asshole walkers. The problem now is like 80 degrees out. So the wood expands and contracts. Really do need to padlock your elephant and watch hilarity ensue, right? Or on the thing, I could put I could put like one of those buzzers, and it shocks you when you try to open it. That would be hysterical. Wow, I've sold over 500 audiobooks this month. How did that happen? I'll have a good book. I have awful book sales, but I'll have good audiobook sales. Interesting. Yeah, or a buzzard, just like a big buzzard. Or Fred Buzzard. I went to high school with him. He could just sit out there. He worked on his car a lot. Freddie Buzzard. That's what I remember about Freddie Buzzard. Nobody ever called him Freddie the Buzzard, though. Which I think we were. I think we had a great thing there we could have used. Yeah, I wish my name right. Don't you wish your name was Freddie Buzzard? That's a great name. He looked. I'm going to tell you who he looked like too. 100%. He looked like Filthy Animal from Motorhead. Same hair, same scruffy face. Looked just like him. I don't know what he looks like now, but that's what he looked like back in the day. He had the chain wallet. You always knew when he was, as a senior, when he was driving into the parking lot because his car was so loud. Character in my current work in progress, Jimmy Ducks. Nice. The ducks had exploded. There's Runaway Heathen. What's going on? No, I wish it was Freddie Buzzard. You could use that one. Freddie might sue you though. I wonder if I can find him on Facebook. Fred Buzzard. Let's see. Let's see if this is the Fred Buzzard that I remember. There he is, right there. This is in Jasper, Georgia. I'm friends with him. Frederick C. Buzzard Jr. So his daddy was also a Freddie Buzzard. Runaway Heathen says, I knew a guy in the army named Sergeant Justice. Frank says, ooh, has a little runaway. He's a little runaway. Has a little runaway. He has a little runaway. He doesn't look as scruffy as he used to. He's also bald now. Too funny. I knew a guy named Sergeant D, but now I'm on his list. So we don't hang anymore. Sergeant D also said talking to you is like talking to his shoe. Why does this thing keep resetting? What are you doing? Now I need to read the Freddie Buzzard autobiography. That should be something you read. I mean, you write. I can't even talk. See now the door. I don't know if the door slammed shut in the wind. But now I don't. I don't see it open technically. I think it's time to do Cologuard again for me. You know the poop in a bucket thing. Give them a mushroom poop. They'll. Oh yeah, that's right. They're like, you don't have cancer, but we believe there is fungi growing in your innards. So we're gonna have to do something about that. I mean, no, 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 no. I'm good. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, no, no writing today. Ooh, I was reading an article from Alma Katsu about this Shy Girl book. There was somebody on a thread yesterday who said, you know, we're attacking this person for alleged blah blah blah, and I don't think on and on and on. And I was like, obviously you didn't read the article because she admitted, oh yeah, I mean AI was used, but the other person who I trusted working with me, I'm like, not an editor. So you had another person writing with you. I don't know who the other person is, but it all just does not sound copacetic. It did get very quiet. It's like I'm reading and everybody. I don't know what everybody's doing. There's 10 people on right now though. 10 of yous. It's gonna be weird too, looking at the numbers, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I got like 25 people watched on Twitch, but nobody said a word. I just noticed I'm the only one contributing. I'm on Twitch and YouTube, so I don't know what your rank is. They don't give you that. Nick says I can't compete with Mr. Frank's White Ball. I just figured Nick was being quiet because he was reading the John Urbansick autobiography again. Oh, here we go. Ready? Hello? Hello? And they just don't answer. Hello? Frank's unranked. I was running to help my little. I had to help take a band-aid off, so it took some coaxing. Yeah. Just rip that thing off. Nick says, I'm always unranked and proud of it. Frank asks, what chapter is the subculture photo shoot? Too late, Frank. Too late, I did it. I answered. And nobody said a word. Nothing, nobody, nope, nothing clicked, nothing. But now I'm going to get a million more calls, right? I'm going to get a million more regardless. He doesn't have chapters, just unnumbered entries. Of course he doesn't. Frank says they were too busy selling your number to someone else to talk. Yep. I had to get a new number last year and suddenly stopped getting these dead air calls. Nick says, and then breaks with people writing essays about him, like BK. Ah, so people are going to be also. He's letting people also praise him. That's what I'm doing when I write my autobiography. It's just basically going to be you guys telling how awesome I am. Because I've seen a few people coming to that author's aid, which normally doesn't happen when it comes to AI. But then I looked the author up, and it's pretty clear to me why they're supporting her. And why, chatter, are they supporting her? Yeah, why are they? Why? Nick says she used Jack Sagro's ring because they are loyal from birth. No. If people want to know, Chad. Oh, I see her Goodreads. I just saw her Goodreads picture. That's why. Yeah, I get it. Guys are stupid. Yeah, they're letting her do it because she's cute. That's the problem with it. Mia Ballard, Shy Girl. Totally unfounded footage in the house. Autobiography is my least favorite fiction category. Okay. Or nonfiction. Either way. All right. I've had mushroom coffee, so now guess where I'm going. Picture I saw look more photoshopped, airbrushed than. Oh yeah, definitely uh, got touched up. Definitely touched up. Remember this for your channel, Charlie. This is how you get to 4,000 hours. You take a mushroom coffee break. Whew. Nick says Armand refuses to airbrush his author photo. That'd be like touching up the Mona Lisa. Exactly. People will wonder, where's that? What are we watching? We're just watching the cat. And you know what? I'm sure if I just put the cat on, I'm sure I would still get followers. He's pooping like any respectable YouTuber. Yeah, right. You'd stay for the napping cat. Trish says I'll give that a try. Maybe I get more views with a bathroom cam, but then that'd be a whole. Yeah, that's a different website. That's for your OnlyFans. I know a guy on Twitch that just let his stream run constantly, even if he isn't there, just music and a slideshow of images when he isn't there. Yeah. I told you that one time Jay Wilburn, when he was right about to get monetized on Twitch, he was on for like, I don't know, like an hour or two, and then he got nauseous, and he's like, I'll be back, but he forgot to turn it off. He just went and laid down for like 2 hours, and in that 2 hour of just showing his office and nothing going on, then he ended up getting his however many people subscribers you needed in that time. That's the way to do it. Heard the OnlyFans founder died too. This is just insane. All right, he says, I want to stream, but my internet sucks. Cowboy World internet is rough. Yeah. They're only going to let fans go to his funeral. Let's see what you did there. I'll see what you did there. At some point, I'm going to get some writing. I just feel it. I feel it in my bones. Like one of those bone feelings. Robert Chestu, Nicholas Brandon, Chuck Norris, OnlyFans guys started watching a vid of the cast of Warriors. I stopped watching because too many died younger than me. Yeah. My therapist, Nick's accountant, everybody's dying. It's a crazy world we live in. You're really, really, really old though, Robert. So you can't go by that. Sorry, man. Thank you. Here's my wife. wife's just showing up here like she lives here. Something. Why is she here? I know she's taking her aunt to the doctor, and she got the dog with her. Now the dog's running down the block. Where are you going? Get the F back here. I gotta put on like I'm making pretend I'm writing.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing? You home already?
No, I'm just bringing Alex home so I can go take Becky to the doctor.
Oh, okay.
I figured I didn't want to take her back to mom's today. She's super exhausted from yesterday. So I'm like, you know what? I was at work. I was like, I got just enough time to run her home and change her, run to the doctor to get Vicky, take Vicky to the hospital, then come home after that.
There you go. Shelly's home and Alice is now home.
Alice is home now. I'm home for a couple minutes.
You're home for a couple minutes, so you take your aunt to the doctor. Alice will get her diaper changed, and then she will get a snack, and then she will pass out somewhere. I'm going to go for about another 10 minutes. I'm going to try to get to the 2-hour mark. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me. I want to thank everybody for subscribing and for also watching all of my other videos. I got about 700 hours left. Not a lot. Burning up about 40 a day, which is great. So keep watching. I'll let her know, Frank, when she comes. She just went into the back. She just went into the back to hang out with the dog for a couple minutes, change the dog. I'm glad she's not staying home because now I'm going to go take a nap. You got that. I appreciate it. We're looking at April 10th is if we can continue to get the same number of hours each day. We're doing like average of like 40 on Monday through Friday and 20 on Saturday, 20 through Sunday. So feel free to watch more hours on Saturday and Sunday. Robert Chess says, I got another chapter down, off for another. I hope your day gets better. Awesome. Keep that going. I hope my day gets better as well. Hopefully I don't take a nap and then somebody in my dream tells me somebody else is dead. Hopefully nobody in my dream just comes up and says, Robert Cheshu just wrote another chapter, and it'll startle me and wake me up. Great job, Nick says. Great job. I don't have anything left. You know, the only thing I have marked. So my wife on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, she's going to Texas to help her sister move back into her house. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, good chance I'll be on here. On the 27th, that Friday, that same day my wife leaves for Texas, Chad Lutsky's book comes out. So I will purchase it. But that's literally all I have left in March. That's it. He said, I guess I'll go back to work. It's going to be like that. No, you got to wait like 6.5 minutes. And then watch a bunch of other stuff. So, and that's it. That's literally all I have. Yep, this Friday. Will it be a Kindle Unlimited book, Chad? I'm just curious. Yes, it will. Then I will definitely pick it up that way. I probably will buy a physical copy, but I will also buy a. I'll also get on Kindle Unlimited. Sarvo Tam Sharma says hello on Twitch. Hello back. Maybe you can get Chad on here to promote it. Maybe. Who can say, right? Who can say? I mean, I guess somebody can. You know, maybe Chad can sell some books on here because I sure ain't at this point. Oh, good times. I will. I should be on tomorrow, but I will. Excuse me. I will just be on YouTube Live tomorrow, noon Eastern Standard Time. Obviously, then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have other platforms that you're streaming also. Yes, also on YouTube Live. If you are not following my YouTube channel, Armand's Opinion, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to get my 4,000 hours in. So feel free to watch about 600, 700 hours of videos. I would also appreciate that. Only on Mondays do I also do the Twitch thing. If you want those hours, you'll be in. There you go. So yeah, I'll be on. I should be on every day. I guess I'll definitely be on Thursday since I don't have a therapist currently. Captain Hustle. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm in a mood and a half today. Tragedy has struck. I'm okay. Just my therapist for 4 years passed away last week, and I just figured it out today. He died on St. Patrick's Day. So just in a bit of a mood. I've written 0 words today. Normally I come on here and at least write a few hundred words, 1,000 words. Nothing. So I appreciate you saying that. The show must go on, right? Still got to get my hours in. Still got to get my stuff done. Wednesday I will have another writing video up. One of the 2 I mentioned before. Friday I will probably put the other one up, which means I'll probably at some point record another couple videos. I mean, I have like 30 ideas, but I need more writing ideas. So I can keep going. So I can do three a week for like, say, the next month. What do you do? I'm no interest. I write books. I'm a full-time author, 15 years, being able to make a living doing this, eking out a living. I write crime thrillers and I write horror books. And that's it. When is the wake? Today. Today was the wake, but it's in Lakeland, which is several hours away. In fact, it was this morning it started. So he lives all the way on the other side of he lives on the other side of the state past Orlando. So, and the only reason I found out is because I had a dream. In my dream, somebody said your therapist died, and you didn't show up last Thursday. So I knew he had skin cancer, but he was getting it treated. So I would imagine that's what happened. Do we have your books on Amazon? You should. You better have my books on Amazon, people. Let me do a. I'll post a link so everybody can be happy, like me. Come on. All right. Here's the link. Everybody feel free to look at that. There's the link. Armin is beloved. That's what he does. He beloves. I do. I'm a belover. I mean, you followed me on Twitch, so I will follow you back on Twitch because that's the thing I do. If it lets me log in. Saved for future reference.
I gotta go.
All right, have a good.
Sit at the hospital.
I didn't take anything out.
But you didn't have chicken.
We didn't have chicken, and then we got chicken from this meat box, and then I just put it all in the freezer. So I'm a little bit disheveled today.
Okay, just take out the trash today because the house kind of has a smell.
Okay.
All right, I'll be a few hours with her.
All right, we could do burgers or something, whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
Just tired.
Do
All
some.
right, I'll let you know when I'm headed home. I'll be a few hours.
All right. Have a good time.
Thanks. Bye, Alice. Be good.
She will not have a good time. Her aunt will ask her 1,000 questions. The aunt will have no idea what the doctor is talking about. All right, I followed you back. Nick says, and at number 3 on your page, hi, I'm Bigfoot. Is it? That's funny. KM Gilbertson Books says, greetings back. Wow, you have a great collection. Thank you. I have over 200 books released. These 4 shelves are all of my books. 30-something years I've been doing this garbage. What makes you write? I just want to be creative, and I don't want to go back into retail management. I should have a video actually coming up Wednesday that details why I write. Recent name change used to be Northwest Country. Oh, okay. Nice. Welcome back in. Yeah, I only do the Twitch on Mondays now because I'm trying to build up the YouTube live. So most everything is over there. Until you couple people came in, there was nobody on. There was a lot of people that in and out on Twitch, but nobody was making any comments or anything. And then of course the people on YouTube live can't see your post and you can't see them. So, but I want to keep the Twitch active, you know. So who knows? Ooh. All right, I've hit the 2-hour mark. I will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. Should be every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. I will also be on. Who can say? Head and heart. I hopped over from YouTube just to say hi to you. YouTube rules, Twitch rules. O'Doyle. How can I get your YouTube? Let me give you my my tube of you. I would appreciate everybody following along on my YouTube, watching as many videos as you can. There it is. Armand's opinion. Thank you very much. See everybody tomorrow. Oh, you know him from another. Very cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I will see everybody hopefully tomorrow, definitely on Wednesday. I will only be on YouTube, so follow me on YouTube. I'll be in a better mood tomorrow, I promise.